Welcome to How to Fest Daily. I am still Tabitha Jackson, director of the Sundance Film Festival, coming to you from New York City, the ancestral homeland of the Lenape. Our theme today is storytelling as tradition, but before we go there, let's do our own little tradition, a moment of gratitude for our official sponsors of the Sundance Film Festival. We literally couldn't do this without you, and I am going to name all my future children after your brands. Special recognition to our presenting sponsors, Acura, AMC Plus, Chase Sapphire, Adobe, and our beautiful home state of Utah. Okay, storytelling and traditions. It feels like almost as soon as we had language, we had stories and the traditions around storytelling. We are the stories we tell. Stories shape our culture and help us make sense of the world. They're powerful little beasts. So, how can we use them to reframe our past, reclaim our present, and re-envision the future? Have a think about that. But take with you into the day the guiding principle of traditions, new and old. Sundancers, you know what to do. Go forth and discover. In the next segment, I'm joined by an incredible filmmaker, director of the wonderful non-fiction film Sirens, Rita Baghdadi. Rita, let's start with you. How did you come to make this film? How did you meet Slave to Sirens? Tell me everything.
So, the original way that I discovered Slave to Sirens was actually in a small article in The National, this newspaper. I saw this image of them, 5 of them standing in a Lebanese forest. And you know when you see a picture of someone and you just think, I have to meet that person. And that is exactly what happened. I just stared at it for a while and I was like, I really need to meet these girls. And I went and listened to their EP. They had just launched their EP. This was in maybe June of 2018. And I was just blown away by their talent. Sirens is an intimate sort of coming of age story about Lilas and Sherry, the co-founders and guitarists of the Middle East's first all-female metal band, Slave to Sirens. The film is set during the Lebanese Revolution on the outskirts of Beirut, Lebanon. And you'll have to see it for the rest.
Exactly. So I want to ask Lilas and Sherry, what did you make of it when this crazy lady came and said that she'd seen a photograph of you and wanted to meet you?
I thought, okay, fine, let's see. Yeah, why not? I did not expect that it was going to be a whole journey of sisterhood and love and friendship.
Rita became like the big sister I never had. She's always there for us no matter what. And this is what this documentary means to me, because having someone who really believes in you,
The journey of the film that you're going to watch is really sort of the journey I went on, where in the beginning, it's about a band, sort of trying to make it under extraordinary circumstances. And, those circumstances being just the situation in their country, but also being outcasts in that they're women trying to do, hardcore music, extreme music, and just, the resources they have access to and all that. As soon as I started filming, I literally lived in Lilas's house for a week and got, I was just blown away by the openness, by the charisma, by the, just their relationships amongst each other and with their families and with their country. And I thought after those first few days, I was like, oh, there's definitely a feature here. There's just so much to explore. There's so many layers.
Sometimes at the end of a film, as a director, you come out changed. How would you describe that change?
There's a whole other side to the reason I think I made this film, which I don't I don't think I knew at the time, but I know now, is that, you know, my father was dying and he lives in Morocco, and I wanted to explore, you know, that side of me. I just was looking for a way to do that. And I think that by connecting with women more or less my age was like really my way of reaching out and being like, who am I? Sorry, it's gonna make me cry. And, you know, it's just, that's the way it changed me.
Maybe.
I was really able to see myself in these women.
I love you.
Is interesting, and it makes me think also about how perhaps you weren't seeing yourself reflected in media, the representations that you could connect to of your lived experience or the culture that you were inhabiting in the US.
Absolutely. I mean, I grew up in America and post 9/11, like the representation of Arabs that I saw growing up were deeply damaging. I mean, I really resent it now as an adult, you know, as a 30-something-year-old woman. I'm like, wow, that's really shameful. And so I think that this film is really, I wanted to contribute to the canon of films about women, complex, raw, authentic portrayals of women in the region that I'm from, and that I wanted to see the world experience in a way that they never have before, and be able to change perception.
Storytelling as tradition, our theme for today. Sherry, when you think about your art form, is what you're doing telling stories?
Yes, I do feel like a song or music is like a story. To pinpoint what the story is, I think I have to go with whatever story is inside me, you know, like whatever I'm feeling. Sometimes I wouldn't know what the story is, you know, until it comes out.
Any musician, like, we share our thoughts, we share our dreams and hopes, and that's how we tell our story. And and music is universal. It's a universal language. So whatever hopes and dreams and struggles that we're trying to convey through our music is most of the time relatable to like everyone else around the world.
What is the film that blew your mind, Rita? Maybe as a little kid or even grown up?
Well, I have to say, I feel like one of the reasons I'm a filmmaker is John Waters, because I met him when I was 16 at the Maryland Film Festival, and it was the first sort of like film, like I'd never been to a film festival before, and John was so approachable and so cool. I'd never seen any of his films, and so I immediately went home and I watched Pink Flamingos, and it blew my mind. It literally changed me forever. So that's the one.
A film that totally blew my mind, I have to say Sirens. Sirens documentary, honestly. It totally blew my mind. Like I never felt the things I felt when I watched like any other movie. I never felt like that before. So it was, yeah, that was it.
Sirens is a great answer. Ladies and gentlemen, Sirens will also blow your mind. Go see it. Thank you, everyone.
We might be talking about the longest walk of our life, or just the weather on the way to work. Either way, we're born storytellers. We pass them on like spoken DNA, encoded with our truths, our beliefs, our values, ourselves. Human history, a long story about the telling of tales. From paintings on walls to new worlds before our eyes, the lessons we choose to learn from the stories of old become the first chapters of our own. So what story are you telling today? Who is it for? And how will it help? think about it and get your mind right.
I am thrilled on this edition of How to Fest Daily to be able to get to talk to an actor I have long admired. A performance of Skylight at the Vaudeville Theatre in London in '97 is still seared on my soul. So it is wonderful to be able to introduce no other than Mr. Bill Nighy, who is starring in Oliver Hermanus's film Living in our premiere section. It is a stunning performance in a stunning film. And Bill, hello, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, good evening.
Hello. Bill, so I don't mangle it, would you mind telling us what you think the film is about?
The subject of the film, I suppose, is procrastination and how corrosive an element that can be either on a personal level or in terms of society. And it concerns one individual who, due to a great crisis, is able to see clearly and is liberated from the tendency long enough to do something about it.
For me, this film is also about the very meaning of life. And I wondered how you came to accept the part. What was it that spoke to you in this?
I met for the first time Kazuo Ishiguro, who is a great friend of Stephen Woolley, who produced the film, at dinner one night. And at the end of dinner, Ishiguro and his wife went into a kind of huddle. And when they came out of it, they said, "We know what your next film should be." And I said, "Well, when you're ready, let me know."
Have you seen the original Kurosawa film?
I watched it about 4 years ago. So, and I was very impressed by it. And you've got to be in a certain regard, you've got to be crazy to remake a Kurosawa movie, although it's a pretty time-honored tradition. But I because of Ishiguro's involvement and because of Stephen Woolley, who is the premier English film producer, I knew that they weren't messing around and that they weren't there would only good would come from it.
You are building a new character. How do you find your way to that?
If the writing is as good as this, that's all you have to go on, and that's the map for it. And somehow, when the writing is of a certain quality, of a very high quality, when working on the lines, it kind of indicates how it should be played, and it unlocks lots of things in your mind. I don't really know anything further than that, apart from once they give you a bowler hat, obviously. Then it gets really real, because wearing a bowler hat is not easy, I tell you.
Bill, thank you so much for letting me talk to you about this extraordinary film. Ladies and gentlemen, Living is absolutely exquisite, unmissable, so don't miss it. And come back to us in How to Fest Daily tomorrow. Thank you so much, Bill.
Thank you, Tabitha.
It's Sunday, and you may be asking, what shall I do today? I'm at this wondrous film festival, Sundance 22, and I don't know what to do with myself. Here are some tips from the tops. You should definitely see Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul, Adama Ebo's film. You should definitely see God's Country by Julian Higgins, standout performance there from Thandiwe Newton. Every Day in Kaimuki will take you to Hawaii for a beautiful film by Alika Tengen. And Sirens, you just heard from Rita, you know what you got to do. Cha-Cha Real Smooth, yay, Cooper Raiff, much anticipated, his world premiere today. And Alice, Kristen Verlinden's romp of a film, it's definitely worth catching. And finally, The Cow Who Sang a Song into the Future by Francisca Alegria, a beautiful little magical realism, just that really will nourish your soul. If that isn't enough, dear people, we have Beyond Film. We have Cinema Cafe with Eva Longoria Baston and Amy Poehler in conversation. fun, and we have a big conversation, 4 histories of rebel arts. That's going to be a fun one. And Power of Story, Artists Unbound. Who wouldn't want to see all of those things? And they're free. You can just turn up in Festival Village, also free. A talk, Chase Sapphire, LA Times, a talk with Lena Dunham about Sharpstick. Amazon and Easter Seals are looking at authentic neurodiverse representation in film, and Easter Seals are also launching their Disability Challenge, so not to be missed. And another set of wonderful conversations at the Sundance ASCAP Music Cafe. The teams from Neptune Frost and Cha Cha Real Smooth will be talking about their sonic landscapes. Spacescapes, go to the spaceship, people, socialize, see the work, hang out after hours with me, and most importantly, if cinema is your religion, this Sunday is going to be a good day for you. So go forth and discover. You're watching How to Fest Daily, spilling the tea with tea about everything going on at Sundance.